Welcome back to AM Northwest. If your Taco Tuesday menu has gotten a bit stale, our next guests have just the recipe to spice things up. We welcome back Vindulge blogger Mary Cressler and pitmaster Sean Martin. Good to see you guys.
Thank you.
Good to be back.
Oh, it smells good. All right, so tell us about how to liven up our Taco Tuesday.
Yes. We are doing Taco Tuesday because we cannot miss a Taco Tuesday in our house. I don't know about you, but I know for us, it's our kids' favorite day of the week, and we can't skip it. So we like to jazz things up a little bit.
Okay.
So this week we've got a Carne Asada steak taco recipe, and this was actually at the request of a good friend, Katie, who's watching. Hi, Katie. She called us out for not having any kind of Carne Asada recipe on our
What
site.
does Carne Asada mean exactly?
So Carne Asada literally translates to grilled meat.
Okay.
And it can be any kind of meat, but most traditionally what you'll find in a restaurant, a Mexican restaurant, will be beef, and it's marinated and then grilled hot and fast.
Okay.
So Sean's going to talk to you about what cut we choose and then how we do the marinade, and then we're going to do a little fun dry rub to go along with it as well.
Sounds good.
So to start, we're using skirt steak. So as you can see here, we have about 3 feet of steak. So between all the meat, we have 9 feet of skirt.
Wow.
So the reason we like skirt steak is it's a traditional cut in Carne Asada. It tends to run cheaper, so it's more affordable and it can last a long way. But obviously when it's so big, we need to cut it up.
Right.
So it's all absolutely fine to cut up the meat into small pieces because again, we're throwing it on the grill.
Sure.
So next, we're going to talk a little bit about the marinade. So similar to the dry rub, when we put it together ourselves, we're going to look at a marinade that has 4 key components: acid, a little bit of sugar or sweetness, savory, which is the onion, and then a little bit of heat. So
perfect.
yes,
Okay.
well, and trust me on the heat. So we're going to start.
Trust you. Want me to help?
Yes. So
Okay.
why don't you start with a little bit of the red wine?
I'm assuming I'm putting it in here.
Put it right in there. So we're
Okay.
just going to put it right in the baggie. That's red wine. Next, we're going to go to Worcestershire sauce, or Worcestershire. And so that's our acid. You can substitute with apple cider vinegar. Here we have orange juice.
Orange juice.
Freshly squeezed.
For the sweetness.
Exactly, without added sugar. Next, if you want to squeeze a lime.
Sure.
And that's going to add a little bit more
Let me borrow
acidity.
this a second here.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And then from there, we're going to add a little bit of that umami or savory flavor.
Right.
So that'll be your chopped up onion.
Okay.
Just toss it in. Next, the garlic. And then we're going to add a little bit of heat. So some people in recipes will call for jalapenos, but jalapenos can run really hot or really mild. So
You never
we use
know.
red chili pepper flakes to be consistent. And now all we're going to do is throw this meat right into the bag.
Okay.
There's nothing fancy about it. And this is going to go into a marinade for roughly 2 hours.
2 hours.
Some people will go
Do you
overnight.
move it around a little bit, like play with it
You
in
do.
the fridge?
So
You know what I mean?
basically you're going to seal it, and as it's in the fridge, you can kind of squeeze the air out. You're going to move it around and kind of get it all going every few minutes.
Sure.
But the longer you let it sit, the more the meat is going to taste like the marinade. So we like 2 hours so you can still taste the beef.
Could you do it overnight, or
You
is that
could
too
do it
much?
overnight,
Okay.
but we like 2 to 4 hours in that range.
All right.
So with that, we take this away,
Put that in the fridge.
and then we're going to add a little bit more flavor, and Mary's going to talk a little bit about how to add that extra touch.
Mary.
So yeah, we are going to, you can easily just take this out and put it directly on the hot grill.
Right.
But we like to add another little layer of flavor by putting the dry rub on it right before it goes on there. So I'll do this since I know this. I don't want to get your wonderful outfit all
I should not have worn those
splattered.
sleeves, darn it.
So we're just going to take a couple pieces as an example, and we're going to pat them
Oh my
dry.
gosh, look how good that looks.
Yes, we're going to pat these just dry enough to where they're not dripping.
Okay.
And then we're going to make the marinade. I'm sorry, dry rub.
Dry rub, yeah.
So what we've got here, we like to keep it pretty simple with beef because we like to taste the flavor of beef.
Sure.
So if you want to mix the marinade, we've got salt, pepper, garlic powder, and then for a little added kick, we got some smoked paprika.
Oh.
That's going to be nice. So when you put that on the meat, when it goes onto the grill, it's going to give it a nice color. It's going to really bring out some of those flavors. It's going to add really great flavor once we put it onto the to the grill.
And you can do anything you want. What I would avoid is sugar. So what you don't want hot and fast is sugar, because obviously you can see this smoking, which is what you want. But if you add sugar, it's going to burn.
Because you made a dry rub for me one time, and then I added brown sugar. But that's not what you want in this case.
We love sugar for pork. But with beef, we tend to avoid a little bit of sugar.
That makes sense.
So I'll just get this on. And then we're going to throw that on the grill just about 2, 3, 4 minutes per side.
So I'll let you do that. And one little trick with a hot pan is go this way. So you want to lay it down, and that way it won't splatter on you as much.
Okay.
So I'll make sure I protect you.
Here we go.
Perfect.
Okay. I like that sizzle.
There we go. Perfect.
Okay.
All right, so we're gonna let this cook
Okay.
for roughly 3 minutes per side.
3 minutes per side.
And you're looking ultimately to make sure you cook it to whatever temperature you want. We like rare,
Yeah.
but some people are a little
I
uncomfortable
like
with
a
it.
medium rare.
We're a divided household.
We are.
So, yeah. So,
I like rare. I'm good with that.
but when it cooks this hot, you can flip it multiple times. There's this tail where you're not supposed
But you
to
don't
flip
want
it.
to pound it or anything,
No,
right?
you don't want to pound it,
no.
but you can flip it as much as you
Okay.
want. So if you flip it from the back side forward, that's going to avoid the splatter. So go ahead and lift it up, and then lay it down again. You can see how that color's on
Yeah,
there?
look at that. Okay.
And then you can flip it as many times as you want.
Okay.
And what we typically are going to do is use a thermometer to get to the temperature we want. So already it's at 80 degrees.
Right.
80 degrees, so we want to go to 120 to 130, which ultimately is what we have here. So
Okay.
let me get the raw meat out of your
Yeah,
way here.
let's put the taco together.
Exactly.
Yeah, and then once it's done, which we have a few pieces that are done, Sean can show
Yeah.
you how we cut it up too, so that you get those perfect little slices. And then we've got some fixings to go with our tacos.
Exactly.
Okay.
So what we want to do when you're cutting up the meat,
Yeah.
and we're going to have you practice this, is you can take a look at how there's little ridges. The
Okay.
grain, you want to cut against the grain.
Cut against grain.
So in this case, I would just cut straight back. And don't be shy.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Now we're cutting against the grain because we want to make sure we keep it tender.
Right.
If you cut it with the grain, it tends not to be as tender.
Okay, we're running out of time.
Those are
so I wanna
perfect
try to get that
slices.
together. Okay.
And then, of course, taste test.
Thank you.
Yes.
Oh. That's so good.
So like
Okay.
to make you taco?
Yes, please. Quickly, what are we putting in the taco?
We just, you know, with this kind of thing, we just want like a simple pico de gallo, and of course I'm going to use a knife to mix it up with because that's what you do when you don't have a spoon. But you can have any kind of salsa, pico de gallo, a little bit of, you know, avocado. Keep it simple with
Or just
something
steak.
like this.
Your steak.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to put the recipe on our website at k2.com. Mary and Sean, thank you very much.
Thank you.
We'll be right back. This is really good.